Do you want to improve something about your relationship, but you're just not sure how to have that conversation? Well, stay tuned and I'll show you how. I'm Dr. Keisha Moore of Life in Focus Coaching, and we've been covering a series that's entitled Overcoming Relationship Problems Through Effective Conversations. I've been teaching you that there are 3 types of effective problem-solving conversations: descriptive, speculative, and action conversations. And in order to do effective problem solving in a relationship, you have to cover all 3. So in our last video, we talked about what makes an effective descriptive conversation. And that's presenting the problem in a way in which the other person can hear the problem and you're not getting in a debate about whether or not that problem exists. So if you missed that, you want to go back to the video before this one. But today we're going to talk about how to have speculative conversations. Now, speculative conversations are where you and your relationship partner actually dream together about what is the ideal outcome of this relationship. What are the benefits that are going to occur for both of you and for your relationship by solving this particular relationship problem? So in the speculative conversations, the job is for you and your relationship partner to dream together about your future. Now, what if the level of conflict in your relationship has gotten so high that you find it very difficult to dream together? Because in order for the speculative conversation to actually be effective, you have to approach it with a non-judgmental atmosphere and an atmosphere of openness and curiosity. And I recognize that that can be difficult if you've had an enduring conflict in this relationship. You might be feeling not hopeful or bitter or resentful. So how do you move from that place and prepare yourself to actually have a productive speculative conversation? Don't worry, I have some tips for you. So if you follow these 4 tips that I'm going to share with you now, it will help you prepare yourself emotionally to be able to engage in a productive speculative conversation. Einstein has said you can't solve a problem with the same mindset that created the problem. So in order to have a new mindset that will allow you to solve the relationship problem, you need to prepare yourself emotionally to be able to do that. So what's the first step in preparing yourself? Step number 1, play make-believe. Yes, pretend. Pretend that you have a fairy godmother who can grant your every request for this relationship. What is it that you want your fairy godmother to do for you? This will help you tap into your dreams for the relationship. If I could wave a magic wand and make it all better, what would your ideal relationship with this person look like, be like, feel like? Step 2 is to focus on your future. This is not the time to talk about the problem or how the problem has manifested itself in the past. That is done with. You've done that in your descriptive conversation. We know what the problem is. We're no longer talking about the problem. Now we're focusing on our future. So what is it that we want to see in the future in this relationship? And most importantly, what is it that you're willing to do in order to manifest that possible future? You are not Cinderella, and I am not your fairy godmother. I can't wave a magic wand and make things all automatically okay. But if you are willing to do the work, you actually can change your relationship dynamic. It only takes one person to shake things up and make the relationship dynamic different than it has been in the past. So when you're focusing on your future, you want to think about not just what you want, but also what you're willing to do in order to get what you want. The third thing that I want you to do is to be open-minded. Speculative conversations are brainstorming conversations where you brainstorm what you want for this relationship and you invite your partner to brainstorm their desires and dreams for this relationship as well. So what's required for an effective brainstorming conversation is openness and non-judgmentalness. Everything stays on the table. Every idea is a good idea. This is not the time to get realistic. If your relationship partner says, I want to go to the moon, you say, yes, and this is not the time you say, how are we going to get to the moon? We're not astronauts. No, that doesn't belong in a speculative conversation. You're inviting your relationship partner to dream with you, and all of the ideas that are shared stay on the table and are treated as valuable ideas and possibilities. So the last thing that I want you to do to prepare yourself to have a speculative conversation is to embrace wonder. Get curious about how you can actually create some of the possibilities that you've been dreaming about together. This is the time when you engage in a curiosity of, how can I make this happen? Not in a frustrated and in a way that suggests that you don't believe it's possible. How can that happen? But in a way that you actually accept, this is possible. This is possible for us. So how can we make that happen? What is it that we need to do in order to make that happen? That will prepare you for the last and final phase of problem-solving conversations, action conversations. So, in summary, in order to have an effective speculative conversation, you need to prepare yourself by playing make-believe and allowing yourself to dream about whatever it is that you would really, really want for this relationship. You need to focus on the future and what this relationship can become. You need to be open-minded and accept all ideas as good ideas. And you need to embrace wonder and get curious about how you can make happen some of the things that you dream about and that come up in your speculative conversation. If you do these 4 things, it will move you in your relationship from this Mexican standoff where we're on opposite sides of the fence and we're feeling resignation or resentment or resistance to each other, to a position of collaboration where we're both on the same side of the fence and we're feeling a sense of wonder and hopefulness about our relationship. And that's what motivates us to act and solve the relationship problems. So check in next week where I'm going to cover the last phase of effective problem-solving conversations, the action conversations. Also, if you'd like more relationship advice, check out my blog, Living From Your Bliss. You can see the blog on my website, which is www.yourlifeinfocuscoach.com. You can also access me through Facebook if you want to connect with me on Facebook. The Facebook address is Life in Focus Coaching. I'd love to hear from you. Please do subscribe to this channel. You don't want to miss any of our weekly updates in this series or any other. And I'd love to hear your comments. Please comment below if you have any questions, if you have any ideas for future topics that you'd like for me to cover. I promise I will read your comments and I will include them in our future planning for this series. So again, I'm Dr. Keisha Moore of Life in Focus Coaching. Thank you for your time and attention, and I am wishing you a life full of meaning, purpose, and joy. Have a good day.